Good evening, scamps, scoundrels, scallywags, and lushes. My name is Brad, aka Sluggo. I go by Mysterioso on Instagram, and tonight I'm going to show you how to make a cocktail that I created called the Sangre y Fuego, which translates to blood and fire. And this is a cocktail that is based on the Margarita platform. So for those of you who don't know, the Margarita platform is generally lime juice, some simple syrup, or some agave nectar, agave syrup, tequila, of course, and orange liqueur. Maybe the orange liqueur is Grand Marnier, maybe it's Cointreau. There's a lot of great liqueurs that you could use for this, but that's the simple platform. So essentially what I did with the Sangre y Fuego is I just started taking the separate parts of the margarita and incorporating new flavors and different flavors and splitting things up until I came up with something that is unique. And so what I'm going to attempt at doing tonight is showing you what these flavor profiles are so you could kind of have a deeper understanding of the flavor profiles that I used, and hopefully you can get creative on your own and start incorporating your own different styles in there, different juices and whatnot, so you can create cocktails that appeal to your palate. So, the Sangre y Fuego, blood and fire. What this is fresh blood orange juice, a variety of spirits, some fresh fruit, some lime juice, and it makes a delicious cocktail. Ultimately, it is a 10 ingredient cocktail. Now, don't be intimidated by 10 ingredients. Yes, a lot of ingredients. You don't have to have 10 ingredients to make a delicious cocktail. I just kind of went a little bit nutty with this, and I'll kind of tell you why. So, the blood orange is also known as the raspberry orange, I think, because it has similar flavor profiles to the raspberry. So, I thought, well, what if we took fresh raspberries and muddled them up, and that would kind of amplify the flavors, the raspberry flavors in the blood orange, right? And then instead of just tequila, I thought, well, what if we take the tequila and reduced that and add mezcal to it to give it that smoky flavor, right? I love that smoky flavor in a drink. And instead of Cointreau or Grand Marnier, what I wanted to use is this dry curacao. It's orange curacao, and it's not as sweet. There's a lot of sweet things that are going into this, and I didn't want to embellish upon the already sweet nature of this drink. So that's why I'm using this. And then I'm using some different bitters to add some spice to it. Now, bitters are essentially spice for cocktails, and tonight we're going to be using Aztec chocolate bitters to give it some chocolate cinnamon kind of notes, and then this mole bitters from Dash Fire, which is great stuff. So that's the basic ingredient profile, and let's get down to making ourselves a cocktail, because I'm thirsty. It is 75 degrees, it's February, it's a hot winter day in Southern California. That's the way it goes, right? So, most people have the propensity to start with the booze first by pouring in the booze, right? Now, the danger of doing that is if you fuck up the cocktail, then now you're pouring out expensive booze, and we do not want to waste expensive booze when making a drink. No. So, we're going to start by muddling the raspberries. So again, I've got 4 fresh raspberries here. We're going to start by putting them in our shaker. And we're going to take these 3 jalapeno coins. I just sliced them off of a nice jalapeno chili pepper and put them in there. You could make it hotter or less hot. You don't have to use that at all if you don't like it hot. My wife certainly doesn't like hot drinks, and so I have to modify that. The thing about jalapenos, though, is that you kind of can't control, not even kind of can't control the spice. You can't control the spice on it at all. So sometimes they're going to come out spicier. I personally like it like that, but maybe you don't. So beware. Anyway, You've got 4 raspberries and 3 jalapeno slices in a shaker. You're going to take this muddler, this nice big wooden muddler, and we're going to start mashing this up good and proper. Get all of those juices and flavors out of it. Yeah, it looks like a crime scene in there. There we go. So, bitters are next. So, Fee Brothers Aztec Chocolate Bitters. We're going to do a few dashes of that. I love the chocolate flavor in a cocktail. It's subtle. It's on the back palate. When you drink this cocktail, you can really taste all of the flavors. They're all kind of splayed out, but it's a balance, right? That's what makes a great cocktail is the balance of bitter and sweet and hot and cold and all these different flavors, right? Textures. About 3 dashes of the Dash Fire Mole bitters. Agave syrup. I'm just using blue agave syrup from Trader Joe's. Doesn't have to be fancy. We're going to do 3/4 of an ounce. And then we're going to do 1 ounce of lime juice. Again, I always use fresh juice. You don't have to. You could use some store-bought bottled product. It's great. I just prefer fresh. It's just the way I do it. So there's 1 ounce lime juice there. We are going to add in, let's go for the booze now. So we're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of the dry curacao. Again, you could use Grand Marnier, you could use Cointreau. Patron makes a decent orange liqueur. I've used that and it's pretty inexpensive, so you can find that also works. We're going to add in a Blanco tequila. Any kind will work for a cocktail. You know, I'm just using Milagro. It's decent. It's not that expensive. We're going to do 1 ounce of Blanco tequila. We're going to add in mezcal. Honestly, this Bosal, I bought it because the bottle's cool. I figured, like, if they're spending the time and energy and money on putting a product in a fancy bottle, then the product has to be good. And by the way, it is pretty damn good, so I'm pretty happy with it. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of this because, as I mentioned, I like it smoky. I love that flavor. So 2 full ounces in there. Okay. Rosado. Badass bottle. And then finally, our fresh blood orange juice. We're gonna do 4.5 ounces of that. So there's 2 ounces, 4 ounces, and another 1/2 ounce, right? So again, we've got muddled raspberry, muddled jalapeno, we've got lime juice, we've got agave nectar, we've got Fee Brothers bitters, we've got Dash Fire Mole bitters, we've got blood orange juice, we've got dry curacao, orange curacao, Blanco tequila, and we've got some mezcal going on. Okay, so all of that's together. We're going to add some ice, right? Be very careful it doesn't splash up. Typically, you'd add in the ice first, but because we're muddling, didn't want to add the ice, obviously. So ice comes in later, and again, just careful not to splash it. And there we have it. Put on our lid. And let's get the glass ready. As it just so happens, I have one prepared. It's not a fancy glass, but you can see it's full of ice, and on the side of it, I have sal de gusano, which is worm salt. That's right, worm salt. It's dried agave worms, or worms that that feed on the agave plant, mixed with some chili peppers, dried chili peppers, and salt. And it is delicious. It has this kind of umami kind of flavor, and I really like it. You don't have to use sal de gusano. You could use tahine. Maybe you don't want dead fucking worms on the rim of your cocktail glass. I know some people are weird about it. I certainly am not. We're going for it. So, ready to shake. Make sure your lid's on tight. There we go. Get all those flavors incorporated together. Now, you can see on the top of the shaker, it is perforated so you could strain. However, there are going to be raspberry and jalapeno particulates in here from muddling it up. It's going to get caught in here. We don't want that in our drink, so we're going to do a double strain. So strain out of your shaker through this. Shake it up a little bit. All right. Get it all out of there. Come on now. It is wise to have a bar spoon handy in cases like this. And look at that, it just goes right to the top. Beautiful. And garnish with blood orange. Nice blood orange slice. Throw a little jalapeno in there. And that is your beautiful cocktail, the Sangre y Fuego, friends. So, before I drink this, I want to remind you, the bartenders right now, they're probably, most of them are out of business right now. We're in the middle of COVID. Bars aren't open for the most part. I miss bellying up to a bar and having a proper cocktail. As soon as you can, go out and support bartenders. Cocktailing at home, making delicious drinks at home is fun, but it certainly doesn't replace hanging out at a bar and having a proper cocktail served by somebody who does this for a living. So go support your bartenders, people. Also, don't drink and drive. Imbibe responsibly. And be a good human being. If you like what you see, please subscribe, hit that like button, and follow me on Instagram at Mysterioso. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Cheers.